guys, welcome. My name is Edell and I really love to talk about books. And in today's video, I'm going to talk about the books that I read in May, and I've only managed to read 9 books in May as I'm in a reading slump. One of it is a short story, so I would say 8 books plus 1 short story. Other than that, I want to talk about the books that I'm planning to read in June because I have so many books that I really want to read as soon as possible. Some of it has movie adaptations, and the other book just intrigued me to read them. I'm gonna start from my most recent read, which is Letters to a Young Poet. I think everyone knows this is a short book, but it is really impactful. I think I read this book at the exact moment where I should read this. I'm currently experiencing uncertainty in my life, so I feel like I have a lot of questions in my mind. And this book just answers everything. Like, what matters is to live everything. Live the question now. Just live the question for now. It really made me appreciate the time that I have right now and not focusing on the future. Just made me realize I need to leave everything, including the question. There's a page I really love. I'm gonna put it in the video. This book became my all-time favorite. And before that, I read The Score by Elle Kennedy. I really love the Off-Campus series, and I feel like I need to read all of it. I managed to read 3 of the books, but I haven't read the Tucker book, so oh my god. And in front of me, my rabbits are sleeping. I got distracted for a sec. The Score is about Dean De Laurentiis and Ellie Hayes, and I really love their book, but my favorite one is Logan, which I'm gonna talk about after this. I used to love reading high school romance or just teenage phase, but I don't think lately I'm in the mood for that type of genre, so I'm trying to explore another genre, and that's why I read William Shakespeare. This is my first William Shakespeare ever, and I think it's gonna be my last, because I don't think William Shakespeare is supposed to be read. He meant to be watched. When I'm reading this book, I also watched the play with Benedict as Hamlet, and it's so incredible. The way he portrays Hamlet and the emotions while he's saying this iconic line, which is to be or not to be. That is the question. I really love that sentence. And I don't study William Shakespeare, so I'm not going to read another of his book, but for the play, I will watch every one of them. And before that, I read The Mistakes, which is Logan's book, and it's my favorite in Off-Campus series so far. I only read 3 books from the series, so I cannot say much. Logan is so sweet, and the girl is super innocent, kind of innocent type, and their story is just so cute. Their meet up and everything, it's not based on sexual attraction only, whereas the other 2 books is kind of objectifying the female characters. That's why Logan is my favorite. But in the series, actually, I love Dean De Laurentiis more. Now I'm gonna talk about The Handmaid's Tale. I really wanna love this book. It really intrigues me at first because I found a quote or a line in here that I feel so relatable to us right now. As a woman, I feel like women really need to read this book. It's not as enjoyable as I thought it would. The writing style just put me off every time. Like, it made me zone out a couple of times because I really want to love this book, you know? Jack Edwards talk about it over and over again. But I get why this is so important for women to read, because it shares awareness what is really going on right now in the world and how it could be worse. Handmaid's Tale really made me appreciate the freedom that I have right now, because just imagine you cannot wear any clothes you want. You just gotta wear this type of clothes, and then you cannot speak your mind, you cannot write, you cannot read. It seems like a nightmare. I'm really glad I live in this timeline and I have the freedom that I have right now. I could read, I could talk in front of camera and just post everything I want. This book grow that awareness in me, and I'm really grateful for it. It's really hard for me to pick up this book. Every time I want to read it, I just feel like I'm not in the mood. Please comment down below if you love this book and tell me if I should reread this book. Convince me otherwise. This book feels uncomfortable for me to read, actually. It's a bit triggering because it happens a lot in our life. Although this is a fiction work, it's too close to home. Next one, I read The Telltale Heart. This is a short story that I'm talking about. I don't consider this a book, but it still includes in my May read because it's only 7 pages or 9 pages long, but the story itself is so scary. I read it at midnight it's kind of my mistake. It's an incredible story if you're in the mood for something short and still a classic that linger in your mind for a day or two. It's quite fun to read this book. I also read The Death of Ivan Ilyich. I'm obsessed with Penguin Little Black Classics. I really want to buy the sets, but I haven't yet. So hopefully in the future I'll get the set box. But so far I read 3 books from Penguin Little Black Classics, and all of it I really love. This man, Ivan Ilyich, talks about grief and regrets in his life, whereas he's in deathbed, so he cannot change anything anymore, and he's just waiting for death to come, where he thought that will be painful and everything. It's such a beautiful story. This book and Letters to a Young Poet is the type of book that you will reread every year. It feels like a reminder, living your life the way you want to and don't take life for granted. This is scarier than a horror movie for me. It made me reflect on the things that I did in life and what I want to do in the future. I don't want to spend my life just wasting time. And this is the second book I read in May, which is Song of Achilles. This book is so beautiful. It's so poetic, and the way Madeline Miller described how Patroclus and Achilles' love is, it's a love story with Greek mythology. It's about Trojan War. I haven't read the Iliad, so if you have read that book, please let me know, because I'm really curious about the book, but I'm just too scared to pick it up. I'm going to read the Odyssey first, I think, before the Iliad, because the movie is going to come out in July. I kind of hate Achilles because what he did is devastating, but I didn't cry that much as everyone else because I already know what will happen. Yeah, so if you want to read this book, don't search for any spoiler. If you want to enjoy this book with full experience, just don't look it up. Just pick it up. That's a nice quote. Don't look it up, just pick it up and read the damn book. I've been talking about this edition for a few times now. I hope you don't get bored of it. But yeah, I managed to annotate this book with such a beautiful annotation. Like the tab that matches the cover. And for the first book I read in May was Crime and Punishment by Dostoevsky. I really love this book. This book will remind you, no matter how screwed up you did, look at them. Look at them. They're flopping. I'm sorry I got distracted again because they're so cute. Like, look at them. How can I talk in front of camera while I can see them from here? Distracting. And okay, let's move on. I also convinced my sister to read this book, and she immediately bought it because of how I convinced her. It's really convincing, guys. No matter how much you screwed up in life, there will always a chance, and it will never be over. You can still live your life although you made a sin or mistakes, and you need to put everything on God's hand. You need to believe in yourself. I thought the punishment will never be over for Raskolnikov, but it turns out he still get to live his life, although it took a few years to get there. I think it's around 15 years or something. Humans are not flawless, and this book reminds you that sometimes we think that we are an exception in doing something, but turns out it's not. It's just our brain. It's normal for our brain to work that way. It's not something unusual. The crime itself is only 100 pages in, and the rest of it just punishment. This book makes me feel anxiety to the next level. Sometimes it feels like he gonna get caught. Other times I feel like no, he's not gonna get caught. It feels scary and reassuring at the same time. This is a spoiler, so if you don't want a spoiler, please skip it. When he confessed at the end, I feel this burden inside of my heart being lifted up. I never experienced this kind of thing for a book before. It feels like I'm stressing over Raskolnikov, so this book is emotionally heavy for me. It's hard for me to read this book. I think it took me a week and a half to read this book, which is longer than I used to read. And that's all my May reads. Let's hop on to the books that I want to read in June. As I want to be realistic, so I only bring this book. I know it sounds a lot, but no, it's not, because I already read this halfway through. The book is so great. Unfortunately, I'm in a reading slump right now, so it took me so long to read this book. I also want to read The Secret Garden, which is another children book. The cover is cute, and someone in a comment recommended me this book. This is Frankenstein by Maria Rilke. I'm supposed to read this in May, but I don't have the time yet. Also, Jane Eyre by Charlotte Bronte. I also supposed to read this in May, but I haven't the time yet. Another book that I'm supposed to read in May, which is Atmosphere. I'm going to read this book in June. I'm actually 9 pages in. Oh, I'm so sorry, but my battery died in the middle of me talking. So, another book on my TBR in June is Ease of Eden. The movie adaptation will come out soon, so I really need to read this ASAP. I also heard a lot of great things about this book, so why not? I also want to read Any John by Jamaica Kincaid. I heard that book from Melissa. When I saw Melissa talking about that book, I immediately bought it. I'm still waiting for the physical copy, I mean. So I'm still waiting for the physical copy to arrive. What happens to my brain? English is not my first language, but I feel more comfortable in talking in English, as sometimes I feel kind of cringe when I'm talking in Indonesia. So sometimes my brain kind of not working properly. Another book I want to read is Breath of Life. The one that made me want to read the book is the cover, actually. And I heard from a friend that it is similar with the death of Ivan Ilyich, talking about life and regret and not taking life for granted. Other than that, this June I'll bring you to Singapore. I have so many lists, a few lists actually, of the store that I want to visit. I want to buy secondhand books, and I'm going to show you around in Singapore, and hopefully I will make vlog. I haven't edited last Singapore vlog. I'm going there to visit my sister and give her the Little Women book. I annotate this book for her. I also wrote a letter in front of the cover. As I really love this book so much, I bought another copy for myself. And that's all of the books that I want to talk about today, which is kind of a lot. I don't know why I feel like I want to yap today. Sometimes I just feel like talking. That's the reason I make a channel YouTube video. Wait, my word structure is not working properly right now. You can see sometimes my brain works like this, guys. Usually I added some parts in the video where I talk nonsense, like I talk in a weird structure, which is insane if I think about it, because even in my mother tongue I usually talk like that. So when I'm using Indonesian, sometimes I just kind of mix words. My friends would laugh about it because it usually make my tongue kind of slip, and it's normal in my daily life. So yeah, I'm sorry if it's kind of weird sometimes. Okay, I'm done talking about all of this book.